Hey guys. Alrighty. I'm gonna jump right in because I have to get off of here soon. I have class at 6 p.m. So this is gonna be a quick video. I hope everybody has had a wonderful Tuesday. I have been in here working. um, but I wanted to hop on because Um, I want to talk about what the title of this discussion is, which is the importance of an alter ego. And, when we think about alter egos, we think about, like Beyonce comes to mind with her alter ego, Sasha Fierce, right? And she gets a lot of flack for having this alter ego, but I want to touch on this today because sometimes we need to have an alter ego to help us get to places and do certain things and make certain moves that otherwise we're not able to do from our first personality. Okay. And alter egos are not a bad thing. Some people will say that it's a bad thing, that it's, demonic or whatever people are saying about it. It's hilarious to me, but it's just like, it's necessary, okay? So basically, an alter ego helps you pull from a place within you that you would not otherwise be able to pull. You wouldn't be able to get a certain thing done if you didn't pull from that place. And if you think about it, we use alter egos all the time. Okay. If you have ever worked in corporate America, right? There, you put on an ego in there. You put on an alter ego. You don't go in there talking the same way you talk to your friends and your family. You put on a whole new voice. You dress in certain clothes. You even sit differently. Okay, there's certain things that you're doing a lot different than you normally do in your normal life when you're not in that setting. Also, an alter ego is great for if you when you're doing things like performing. If you're a performer, right? You're not a performer 24/7, okay? You're not a performer at home with your family. You're not a performer with your kids. You're not a performer when you're laying in your pajamas watching TV, right? But when you've got to get into that character, something happens. There's a shift that happens mentally and psychologically that all of a sudden this new personality comes in, right? And starts to take over. So it's almost as if you are kind of possessed by another entity or a spirit, okay? And this is a very important skill to have. And if you don't do it already, if you find that you get really nervous, when you have to do a presentation, or if you want to be doing like YouTube videos and things like that, but you're a little nervous about getting in front of the camera. Establishing an alter ego and learning how to tap into it and pull it up out of you is a really great way to help you break through any of those fears. Okay, it's a really great way to help you move into a different headspace. Okay, so I'm going to share something with you guys that a lot of people don't know. Some people do, but I was a phone sex operator for a while, right? Hey, Messiah. Surprise, surprise, right? So I had to get into character to talk to these people, okay? Because people like weird stuff, and I'm a crazy person. I'm really nuts, for real. I am kind of an actress. I've never pursued acting like that professionally. But I have an art background. I've been a performer, a singer on stage and things like that, been in plays and stuff. I went to an art school. So I'm really good at putting on a different character. But working as a phone sex operator, I really had to pull from a certain place that was a little bit outside of me and a little bit outside of my character, right? It doesn't mean that it's not me. It is me, right? but it's a part of me that I'm not tapping into all the time. So I had to really dig deep and go there sometimes with some of the things that were requested, right? So, but it was fun to me, if it's, and if it's not fun to you, obviously you don't want to do something that you don't enjoy. I enjoy that because I'm very free. I'm very sexually free. Okay. So I don't have any hangups about sex. I have great respect for anybody in the sex industry. I don't look down my nose at strippers and, ladies who are escorts and stuff like that. I'm like, hey, if you're comfortable with it, if it makes you feel good, do it. But when I was being a phone sex operator, I had to pull from a place. I had to bring in my alter ego, and it helped me make a considerable amount of money, right? And, it's not something that I was going to be doing forever. But at a certain point, I'm a hustler. So at a certain point, I'm going to find something that I need to do to help sustain as I build a business or as I, grow something from the ground up. Okay. So I would put on this alter ego that would put me in a headspace where I could do and say certain things that I normally probably wouldn't do or say. Okay. So it's very important that if you find that you want something different in your life, okay, if you find that there's certain things that you have to do that's outside of the box, okay, whether it's being a phone sex operator, whether it's, being an extra on a movie set. I live in LA, so I always get emails about auditions and things like that. But you never know what could bring you extra income. You never know what could open up a doorway to an opportunity that you never even thought was possible, that you didn't even think of, right? Because we are so used to staying kind of in our boxes, right? We don't necessarily step outside of the box the way we may want to. There may be some things that you're like, God, I really wish I could do that. If I didn't have this 9 to 5, I could go pursue that over here, and if I could just have my own schedule, then I could do this kind of work and still have time to build my business or whatever it is that you want to do. And a lot of times the reason why we feel like we're stuck is because we stay in our boxes and we don't tap into that alter ego. That alter ego could help you move some obstacles out of your way. Okay? That alter ego could help you step into a whole new lifestyle that you never even dreamed for yourself. That alter ego could bring some things to light about your mundane life, okay? About your regular life that you might start looking at and being like, I'm not necessarily happy. I'm not 100% happy in that life because I've stepped outside of it and I'm looking at that life while I am being this other person. And so it's not a bad thing. The only time it becomes dangerous is if you're not able to pull yourself back into your box, okay? And the only time it becomes dangerous is if you are finding that it's unhealthy, because some people do have alter egos that come out and have them doing crazy stuff. They start being wild, and I forgot the name of that movie where the chick would have an alter ego, and the next thing you know, she was like hanging out in the clubs at night, and being super promiscuous, and that's cool, whatever, but she was married and had kids at home and was like worked in corporate America or something like that. You know what I mean? And she was being very risky. So if it makes you risky to the point of you hurting yourself or hurting somebody else, then that's where you want to kind of pull it back. But usually most people are using alter egos to help them step into a different way of being that's going to enhance their life, that's going to increase them and help them to do something that they didn't have the courage to do otherwise. Okay. So Do you have to go as far as like picking a name for your alter ego and things like that? I mean, you can. You can. You can, and see, and this is a form of magic, actually. When you start pulling in an alter ego, it is a form of magic that you're doing. Um, because you're utilizing the power of the mind and you're tapping into an aspect of yourself. So, in essence, you're kind of creating a new entity, okay, when you create an alter ego. This thing already lives inside of you, but you are now summoning that energy up and you're bringing it into the 3D realm, right? To say, okay, go out here and do something. So I don't know if you guys have ever heard of servitors, right? Okay. An alter ego is something like a servitor, only you're the one doing the action, if that makes sense. Usually when you create a servitor, you send it out as an entity, an entity or yes, an entity that you send out, an energy that you send out, but it's not you doing the action. That particular energy is doing the action on your behalf. So when you create an alter ego, you're kind of sort of creating a servitor, but this servitor lives inside of you and you are acting as the servitor, if that makes sense. Okay. Um, it could be, yep, Sierra. It could be a servitor. It's not quite the same, but it's kind of like that. You know what I mean? You're creating an energy, kind of out of thin air, right? That never existed before, but you're pulling on this energy, but instead of you sending it outside of you, you are acting on its behalf. Okay, so I mean, let's go back to Beyonce, right? So when she hits that stage, right, you see what happens. She turns into somebody else. Now, her being regular Beyonce, she's not like that. You know what I'm saying? She's very shy. She's, can't really speak that well. You know what I'm saying? I'm not trying to be no shade. I'm just saying. I'm just being. I observe, right? But when she hits that stage, all of that falls away. And so this other person comes in, this other spirit, this other energy comes in, and she's now able to do things that she couldn't do before, right? Even when she was in rehearsal, she couldn't hit that move that way. Something happens to her when she has to pull from that energy and she allows from that energy to come in. Something happens and success follows. Okay. So, I know we hear a lot of things about people who, are the conspiracy theorists and the people who are like highly, highly, highly dogmatic and highly religious about letting these spirits in and that you become possessed and all of that type of stuff. And that's cool. Everybody's welcome to have their own ideas and viewpoints about that. However, it's all about you understanding the energy and you calling the shots. Like when I pull from my alter ego, she's not in control. She's only in control in that time period because I allow her to be and I say so. Okay. She's not in control over me. I still am sovereign. I still have dominion over my mind and my body and my energy. However, I have allowed for this alter ego to come up and out of me. So when I got to get on stage and sing, so when I got to get up and speak, right, I just push aside the nerves that come up inside of Shara and I pull in this other energy. She don't have a name. I haven't named her or anything like that. But I just know what her energy feels like when it enters me. Okay? I know what happens on a physical level and on an energetic level when I drop into the background and my alter ego comes up and steps to the forefront, okay? And it just happens like that. If I have to, let's just say I got to teach a class and I didn't know that I was going to have to teach and I'm called in, just like that. And I kind of got to step in last minute, right? I may not have anything prepared, but instead of me freaking out about not having anything prepared, what I do is I call forth my alter ego. She comes in because she can handle anything. She can handle any stress. She can handle any unexpected issues that come up, and she is able to handle it. Hey, Doris, how you doing? She's able to handle it from a place of like a diva. You know what I'm saying? Like she's able to come in and just be like, oh, we got this, and it's nothing to worry about. Let's just pull from this, and all of a sudden things just start coming through. Hey, Yasra, girl, you could probably speak to this. What I'm talking about, alter egos and performing. So it's very important that we understand what's accessible to us when we are working with our own energy. And it's also important to understand how to utilize magic on your behalf, okay? It's okay to use it because it is you. It's you. That's all it is. Magic is you. It is not something floating around in the air that you got to try to catch and pull it down and make it work for you. It is you. It's who you are. You are naturally a magical being. You are naturally a creator, right? I mean, women, we can make babies. Men can impregnate us, okay? We're magical beings. That's magic right there. Creating a life, that's magic. If I ever seen one, if I ever seen it, okay? So it's not something that we should be fearful of. It is definitely something that we need to learn how to get back to. Once you start understanding magic and using magic, right? You start returning to yourself. You start returning to your nature, and you start to awaken things inside of you that you didn't even know existed. You start surprising yourself and being like, damn, I'm a bad bitch. I can do this. You know what I mean? I didn't know I could do that. Wow. Because now you're allowing yourself the space to shine, to grow, to expand, to push yourself beyond your limits, right? So if you don't feel like you're able to do that on your own, as you are right now, you can create this alter ego, this other person that is you. It, she, he, it, whatever, is you, right? However, now you're using it with purpose. You're using it with intention. You're giving it directions and instructions. Hey, I need you to jump inside of me when it's time for me to hit this stage and put this performance on, and remember these lines and kill it. You know what I'm saying? And execute these moves. To speak these words that I didn't know I was going to have to speak today. You know, teach this class that I didn't know I was going to have to teach today. Go in here and redo this whole house, or whatever it is that you need to do that you feel gives you the jitters, or maybe something that you're afraid to even step out on and do in the first place. Try creating that alter ego. It's very, very important that you become familiar with all parts of yourself, okay? It's very important that we do that, because there's times where you're going to have to do some things that are outside of your comfort zone. You're going to have to do some things that you might have thought was a little bit out of your character, right? However, you can do it. You can do it. It's the reason why everything exists for a reason. There's nothing on this planet that is here by accident. It all exists for a purpose. Having an alter ego, or having access to create an alter ego like you would a servitor, that is for a purpose, okay? Because sometimes we have to pull from other places to get things done, all right? If you've ever been dead dog tired to the point where you're like, can't even keep your eyes closed, but you know that you have to drive to get home. Don't you pull from a source? You may not necessarily know where you pull it from, right? But you pull from something that boosts your energy and makes you get to where you gotta go, right? And eventually you just finally get it done. If you know you have to finish a project or a job and you can't afford to lay down and go to sleep because you got to finish it, you pull from someplace inside of you to get it done, okay? Whether that's an alter ego, whether you're doing breathing techniques, whether you are praying or what have you, you're calling on something else to pull, you're pulling from something else to give you that extra boost, okay? To take you to that limit, to the edge and through it, okay? So I hope that makes sense for you guys. I just wanted to speak on that because I was listening to something earlier today, and people were they were talking about Beyonce and her alter ego, and I'm just like, well, what's wrong with her having an alter ego? You know what I mean? Like, sometimes you need that, you know what I'm saying? Especially if you have a job to do, or if you've got to get yourself out of a certain circumstance, okay? And if you got to do some, like I said, do some things that you never thought you would have to do, or that you never thought that you could do, right? So it's important to do your research, of course, before you do that. If you don't feel comfortable with doing it, I'm kind of crazy. Sometimes I'll do research and sometimes I won't. I'll just do it. You know what I mean? Just be like, let me just see what this is like. Let me create this other thing and pull from it and see what happens. And it's always worked for me. So if you're a performer or whatever you do, teacher, whatever, it might be worthwhile creating that energy that you can pull from. All right, let me see what y'all saying in here. Oh, what time is it? Okay, I got a few minutes before I go. Hey guys, what's up? Michelle, she said that she read a book on servitors years ago. Yes, servitors are the bomb. I love working with servitors. They are awesome. And there's different ways that you can work with servitors too. So it's not just like one way to do it. Sierra said this is right on time for her. Okay. Yeah. All right, guys. So yeah, this is a shorty today. Also on Thursday at 6 p.m., I'm going to be doing the breathwork class. It's a 3-part class, okay? So the first class is going to be on Thursday from 6 p.m. to 8 p.m. And Thursday is May 14th. Okay, so we're going to be doing breath work to clear, activate, and align the chakras. And also, I'm going to be teaching you how to use breath work to help relieve headaches and pains, because you can do that just by breathing, okay? Especially if you don't have access to, any medicine or anything like that. There's certain breathing exercises that you can do to help relieve headaches and back pain, neck pain, things like that. So we're going to be going over that on Thursday. I will post again on Facebook so you guys can have the link if you're interested in signing up for that. That class is $66. It's 2 hours. This is the first class, okay? The first of 3. And it's called Manifest Through the Breath. So we're going to be using breath work to help us manifest a pain-free body, to align, clear, and activate the chakras. So that's going to be the first one. And then the second class is going to be about breathing your intentions in and how you can impregnate the air, okay, with your intention. And then the third one is the third one is for your spine. We're going to be doing spinal alignment through breath work, okay? So check that out. I'm going to go ahead and post it again right now. I created an event for it, so you guys should have seen it floating around somewhere. But otherwise, if y'all don't have no questions, I'm going to go ahead and jump off of here. So that I can get ready for my class at 6 p.m. Not the breathing class. This is a class that I'm a student in. So I love you guys so much. Please feel free to share this video if you want to. And I will see y'all in the next one. Bye. Have a good night.